Hi, I'm Andy Weinberg with Miller Welders. In this video, we're going to look at the highly versatile Millermatic 211 Auto-Set with MVP. We're starting at Hendrick Motorsports, where the Millermatic 211 gets a serious workout day in and day out. Then we're going to move over to New Day Motorsports, which is a Saturday night race team that uses the Millermatic for multiple projects, similar to what you might do at your home shop. We're going to show you why the Millermatic 211 might be the right choice for you if you have multiple projects to do and need to weld a variety of thicknesses, or you need the input power flexibility to run on 115 or 230 volt input power.
My name is Ron Reedy, and I oversee the BodyFab Department here at Hendrick Motorsports. In this department, we basically put all the sheet metal on every car that we race. That's all 4 teams. We basically build between 50 and 60 cars a year. We also do all the repairs, body updates, any type of new aero configurations. All that work is done in this department. We weld everything from 24,000 sheet metal to 90,000 thick steel tubing. We have over 100 Miller welders in this facility, and probably 30% of them are the Millermatic 211, which we feel is a very versatile machine for what we need in this department. As you see here, the rear quarter panel is being installed. The fabricator is actually going to spot weld this panel in place. There are basically thousands of spot welds that hold this body together, and it's pretty important that we have a machine that's capable of doing these spot welds, starting every time and having every weld consistent. Here we can see the construction of the front splitter assembly. Part of this assembly includes the brackets that actually attach the front splitter to the structure. These brackets happen to be a fairly lightweight material, and we're going to be welding them to a fairly heavy splitter support tube. That being said, part of this weld will be a spot stitch, and the rest will be a continuous weld. At most of these workstations, we're using a 030 diameter wire and a 75-25 gas. That allows us to weld everything from the thinner sheet metal bodies to the thicker support tubes without changing any consumables. One of the great parts of this machine is the fact that we have the availability of using it on the surface plates where we have the power supply of 230, but a lot of times we'll have to work on a car off of the surface plate on the floor, and it allows us to run an extension cord and use the 110 power supply, and it welds exactly the same on either. The Millermatic 211 handles every job that we ask it to do here at Hendrick Motorsports, and I would have no problem using one of these every day in my home shop as well.
So we just left Hendrick Motorsports, where we showed you the Millermatic 211 in a professional race team environment. We've moved over to New Day Motorsports, a Saturday night race team that races super late models and modifieds. This machine is so versatile for this type of a race team. It'll do anything from your steel tubes to your spindles, even hooking a spool gun to the machine to do your non-critical aluminum work like bumper bars, brackets, and even spoilers. It's even versatile enough to bring to the racetrack.
Hi, I'm Jeff Day with New Day Motorsports, and today I'm going to be modifying a spindle for upcoming test using my Millermatic 211. I'm going to use the Auto-Set feature to weld 1/4 inch to 1/4 inch material along with 1/4 inch to 3/4 inch material. The Auto-Set feature makes it easy for us to adjust for different material thicknesses. Now that we've finished welding the thicker part of our spindle modification, we'll readjust the machine and weld our 1/8 inch cover plate. Now we're going to adjust our welder. We're going to make sure that we're on the 030 auto setting, and we're going to change from the 3/16 setting to the 1/8 setting to weld our cover plate on. Another common project here at New Day Motorsports is the construction of modified type bumpers. We use 120 to 083 material, and because sometimes the fit up is poor and the tubing is out of position, we sometimes set the welder at a lower setting than recommended to be able to weld it slower to get a better finished weld.
Another great option for the Millermatic 211 is the Spool Mate 100 spool gun. New Day Motorsports uses the Spool Mate 100 for their non-critical aluminum work, like welding on aluminum bumpers for their modifieds. In this segment, we'll show you how to hook up the Spool Mate 100 to the Millermatic 211. To change the Millermatic 211 from the mild steel application to the Spool Mate 100 is pretty simple. All we need to do is remove the standard MIG gun that comes with the 211 and reinsert the Spool Mate 100. To do that, we're just going to lift the cover, remove our drive roll tension. We're going to wind up our steel spool. And I usually just wind it up until it comes to the end of the drive roll. And then I'll reinsert the tension. Remove the MIG gun. And we're going to reinsert the Spool Mate 100 into the drive roll housing. Make sure you tighten up the tension screw and reinsert the trigger leads on the front of the machine. The only other thing you have to remember is to change your gas from the 75-25 mixed gas to 100% argon for your aluminum applications. Now that we've switched over the spool gun and we've run our aluminum wire through the drive rolls and out the end of the gun, keep in mind that your auto settings on the front of the machine are designed only for steel. You're going to need to refer to the inside of the cover for your aluminum settings. Also, you're going to want to change your trigger input from the standard MIG gun to the spool gun.
One of the jobs we use our spool gun for here at New Day Motorsports is building and repairing our rear modified bumpers. They're made out of aluminum, and today I'm going to take a piece of 1/4 inch and cap the end of my bumper. I've used the chart in the machine to adjust for 1/4 inch settings.
So at New Day Motorsports, we showed you how the Millermatic 211 is great for this type of application. We welded steel and aluminum with the Spool Mate 100, and it's completely versatile, meaning we can use it in the shop on 230 and also take it to the track and run it on our 110 generator.
When I first started in the motorsports business, I bought a 110 unit, and it's been a very good machine. It's very adequate. But today, the 211 is a much better machine for what we're doing. It will work on the 110 power like this machine and the 230 power. We also carry it on the road with us because it is very versatile. So if you ever think you're going to have access to 230 power or need to weld thicker materials, the 211 is an excellent choice and worth the investment.
For more information on the Millermatic 211 Auto-Set with MVP, check out millerwelds.com.